All right, today I got something different for you. I got analog, DJI V2 and DJI G3s ready to rock. So what I'm gonna try to do for everybody here is I'm gonna test probably three things, really. I'm gonna test a little bit of range, I'm gonna test a little bit of like video clarity, and I'm gonna test latency. For me personally, I'm gonna put an end to this whole like latency thing today for myself. You can take my information as you will, but I'm just gonna lay it out there. I'm gonna record all the flights, I'm gonna fly aggressively, I'm gonna fly to a distant point, and then try and pull back some of that information and communicate it to you all in a meaningful way, so that you can make a decision for yourself. Maybe I'll have something at the end of this video that you should probably watch, but we'll see. All right, stay tuned, here we go. Okay, analog. Flight one on analog. Real talk, I have flown analog for probably when I first started in 2013, 2014, I flew analog exclusively until maybe, man, I hope this OSD is recording. I flew analog pretty much exclusively for almost 6 years. And I'll tell you that I tried every option, every VTX, every camera, every antenna, every configuration I could ever find to try and get like clear video, where I was like, man, this is crystal clear. Because I was after that goal of of like GoPro quality footage, but with a drone, you know what I mean? Wow. So right now what I got today is I'm out here comparing analog with digital systems, two digital systems. So the O3, which I've been flying a long time. Again, I've been flying the V2s. Oh, here comes a vehicle. Thanks, spotter, for giving me the heads up. I've been flying the V2 goggles for easily 5 years, maybe 6, 5, well, whenever they came out, 4 or 5. So 5 years on that. I flew analog for 5 years. And now I'm on, so between V1 and V2 DJI, now I just bought the G3s and the O4. Good grief, DJI is changing their stuff up too much. So I've flown the Caddx, I've flown the Air Unit, I've flown the O3 Air Unit, and now I have the O4 Air Unit. And I'm out here testing all of them. And this is analog at the moment, and I'm about done with this flight. Video is terrible, so I'm doing some moderately difficult tricks. Let me see if I can turn the speed up a little bit. The video is real sketch. Can't really see a whole lot. Like Scraggle, I can't see Scraggle too well. Let me go over here some distance. So I'm putting some distance on it, just a couple 100 yards away. Video is still flyable, it's flickering. I don't believe I could confidently rip aggressively up there with the static in the video the way it is, and I almost feel like I'd hit some mother walking her child, like carriage, which would be bad. But again, analog, you see it. Everybody's talked analog for a long time. So now I'm gonna land, I'm gonna go back to my V2s. I'm gonna go to my V2s and see what I get out of the O3 system with the DJI V2s. Be right back. Okay, we're back. DJI V2s. So I've been on V2 since they came out with the V1. I would assess that's probably 4 years. So I think I told you before, I flew analog for probably 5. I flew DJI Caddx Air Units and O3s consecutively for probably 4 years, where essentially since it was released, consistent. So I've gotten any latency that I would say is there, any like felt latency, I've definitely gotten used to, so it doesn't bother me like it does other folks. Now, this is what I'm most comfortable with, the V2s and the O3 now, because I've been on O3 since it was released almost 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. I like it a lot. This is my favorite setup at the moment because it's what I'm most comfortable with. But even compared to analog, like, oh my gosh, man, I can see so many things now. I can see like neutrons and atoms and things, and I have like all the confidence in the world to do, just to boost like crazy tricks that analog would not let me do with my mind. my brain's like, nope, don't do that, nope, don't do that, nope, 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 nope. Woo, wires. And I actually could see the wires with the V2. So I think V2s, man, I love them. Cause it's like, I mean, how does latency really affect what you're doing here? Like, god dang. I mean, I'm flying like a bat out of heaven. I mean, golly, that's O3 latency. What? Okay, I'm gonna land. Let's hope my GoPro and my DJI X2 recorded. But that was my V2s on O3s with an Action 2 camera. And I think I failed to record. I didn't get the OSD correction, the goggle footage, but you don't need that anyway. Okay, O4 with the G3. So I flew the G2s with the O3 for a while, probably 3 or 4 months. And I just couldn't get my head around the latency in the goggles. There was definitely latency in the goggles. So on this particular one, I just spin a motor up. So I hope this thing lasts a while. I have it on race mode at the moment, and I've only flown one pack. So I'm not 100% comfortable with the setup of this goggle configuration and the also the O4. But this is like pack 1, 2. Oh boy! Pack 2 on the Air 4 with the G3s. Here's the deal, guys. I'm not even gonna fly the rest of this pack. Did I eject my O4? I didn't eject my O4. I'm not gonna fly it. I'm gonna chat with you folks for a moment. Here's the deal. I have flown literally every video system known to man. I flew analog for 5 years. I flew digital for 5 years. I've been in this game almost over a decade. All right, I ain't gonna blow smoke. I am super anal about latency. I'm super anal about clear video. From the beginning with analog, I always was looking for a better antenna, a better VTX, better wiring configurations, better solders. Analog taught me so much about just video transmission, limitations, you know, my limitations, the gear's limitations. There's so many things, and there's so many benefits to analog, right? There's probably, I got 100 reasons why analog's good, but I also have 100,000 reasons analog is not good. I'll say this, I flew the G2s, I've flown the V1 goggles, DJI goggles, I've flown the V2 goggles, all since they came out and were released, all the firmware versions. I flew the Caddx, I flew the DJI Air system, the original one, the big one. I flew the O3 now for 2 years. I've been flying digital, walk snail, I flew HD0. Listen, you, the individual, have to choose what is best for you. If budget is a concern, go analog. I can't think of a single other reason why you would want to use analog. And let me expound on that a little bit. Analog is great. My issue with analog is confidence. So over the 10 years I've been flying drones, I fly really aggressively, and I know everybody does, but I fly really aggressively and low and fast, 50+ degrees up tilt. So latency is obviously important to me. The problem isn't latency for me. The problem is confidence. I can't see what is in front of me well enough to have the confidence to charge. And I think that's my biggest hang up with analog. It's not that it's faster, it's not that it's cheaper, it's not that it's like easier to use, it's not that none of that even matters, because I have no confidence in the video system itself. When I fly behind a tree and my video breaks up because I flew behind a tree and I crash, I can't pull off the stunts I was trying to pull off. Again, relative to styles and the person, the individual, and performance. And if you're flying a really tight spot, like if you're really flying a zone that's like 100 yards wide and you're not going very deep, I mean, analog is probably perfect. Or if you're racing, right? But also if you're racing, there's HD0. That's a digital link that's clear and fast, sub single digit milliseconds, right? Or sub double digits. So if you want speed in HD, like go HD0, but you're gonna lose range performance. Digital kind of has the whole picture. DJI rather, like walk snail. I flew walk snail, was really good. I liked walk snail a lot. The only thing I had with walk snail was latency. There was actually latency in that system I couldn't get around. And also the field of view of the cameras was a challenge for me. The same thing was when I went to V1s, I really liked that field of view in the goggles because it was like I was watching a large screen or big screen TV, like 80-inch screen. Same with the V2s, they were identical. The Air Unit, the DJI Air Unit, the Caddx, the O3, all of those had really great crisp photo or images, and they were also low latency, low enough. And now with the G2s, or I'm sorry, because I flew the G2s with the G3s and the O4, dude, it's game over. Like, I can't think of a single reason that I would use. I'm screwed, man. I'm screwed. It's gonna be, I'm screwed. Hey, decide for yourself. I don't get paid by anybody to tell you anything. Literally, I only fly what I feel is best in terms of clarity, speed, latency, performance. Like, that's all I care about. And I'm gonna tell you, that pack with Goggle 3s and the O4 was my second pack ever.